What's up, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Sorry, unmuted mic. Hopefully you guys didn't hear me choking to death. But anyway, let's go ahead and get the day started. I've been grinding out some primitive pieces here to try to improve my DST set, but on the same note, I'm just more want to prioritize just having a good time because we know that the rework is coming. And all our loot we're going to want to refarm. What's going on there? Arc Exility Tour, what up? Glass Cola. Am I playing on controller today? No, no controller today, man. I won't use a controller on PC. I mean, some games. Pampus, how you doing? Like Hades. I used a controller for Hades on my PC. I mean, there's a few games where I'll use a controller for, but I'm just a mouse and keyboard kind of guy. I mean, it's just what I'm used to, you know? Oh, you saw my controller clip? I don't know who clipped that, but oh yeah, I was very ragey. Very ragey that day. I just don't use controllers, you know? I mean, I use controllers for, like, the main things I play on the Xbox right now. Like, I'll play some racing games with the wife, and we still play, like, Mario Kart on the Switch. But that's about it. I just don't play... I've actually only played one shooter in a serious fashion with a controller ever. And that was the Division, the original Division. And then that is so cover-based. It was like almost you had aimbot. Had a bad weapon for Nightmare. It says 7k range damage. Got a new weapon. It says 32k range damage. Says it does the same damage. Well, I mean, you just got to understand the mechanics of the game. What it says on it doesn't mean anything. That's like your upgrade value. But what difficulty you're playing in, there's scalers for. That's why there's the button in the tavern to change difficulty mode so you can see your actual damage. Generally speaking, if you're a hero that's focused into the attack stat, like maybe a Huntress or an EV, you'd want to go with range damage. And if you're on like a monk, you're going to want to focus on elemental damage. I mean, late game, it's kind of tough to focus on range damage because everything hits so hard. You know, dead heroes, of course, do no damage. So when the heroes are hitting, or when the bosses and everything are hitting you for 75% of your health. Oh, well, don't ever upgrade the range damage on the monk. It's not worth in any way, shape, or form. That's the same thing. I mean, that would be hero damage. The range damage is not a stat you want to even pay attention to on the monk, to be honest. The monk, it's all about the elemental damage. I mean, you could go and attack stat monk, but the elemental damage scaling on like the... Well, then, I mean, ignore the range damage number. I mean, if you upgraded elemental, you already know what to do, so don't pay any attention to the range damage number. It's not taking into effect or into account the elemental damage. Like, I'll show you mine here when we get to the break. I'll pop out and do some publics. I just had this one going. Like I said, I was grinding it a little this morning. I'm anxious for the update to get here. I mean, it basically completely reinvents the loot hunt, you know? Completely reinvents it. So looking forward to that getting started. The real grind. The grind will be on once again. It's not about the damage you do in nightmare mode. It's about your build. Your damage output means like practically nothing. Are you building so your defenses are shooting the boss? I mean, most people don't even attack the Demon Lord. They let their DSTs kill him. So, Marfy, what's going on? Yeah, but anyway, like my weapon here, it's all about the fusion damage, you know? So I ignore every other damage aspect. All right, come on, be something shiny. Well, no, the piece I was looking for did not roll godly. Actually, a decently rolled miner helmet, but it doesn't have all 4 builder stats, so that's a big old toss in the poo bucket too. Well, I mean, look on my YouTube channel. There's easy mode builds on how to kill the boss. You know, I just did one not that long ago. The Demon Lord versus his own mechanics, I think it was called. It's not about... Remember, this is not a shooter. This is a tower defense game. So most things in the game can be solved by your towers. So either your build or... I mean, I'll do a quick Demon Lord, show you guys what I'm talking about. People just don't know or don't fight correctly against the Demon Lord. You don't want to run up to him. Oh, nice. That's awesome, Zeus. No, it's actually a really good time to start because we're waiting for a big episode 1 update that's going to kind of reinvent the game. So if the episode 1 update is not here before you get your laptop, you can at least get through the early game. And if it is here, then, I mean, you're going to be in the new era of farming. So it's a really, really good time to start Dungeon Defenders Awaken. I mean, right now, I mean, I hate to say it, but the truth to the matter is, right now is a really good time to be playing other games. So if you are a Dungeon Defenders Awaken player, grinding loot right now is borderline pointless because everything is going to get thrown away as soon as that next update hits, you know? Anyway, this is the build I use. 1 fusion strength drain, or 1 fusion ensnare, 1 fusion electric, a regular buff beam, non-fusion. Then I'm going to come back here and do the same thing, basically. No gas trap back here, though. Electric aura. Ensnare aura. We're going to throw the DSTs here. This is kind of like the easy mode build. It just makes the map completely trivial. So you want all the DSTs so they're covering all the lanes, but additionally, they're all still going to hit the boss when the boss spawns. Having each hero's... Oh yeah, leveling up heroes is the grind, right? It's going to be a lot easier with 6 heroes in the deck. What's going on, Christian? There's no date yet on the update. And then you got 4 DU left, or 8 DU left, which you can do 2 4 DU EV walls here if you wanted and connect them with this buff beam. Here, I'll just show you. That way there's no mystery. In fact, I'm not even going to use my waller. See, that's a waste of a bunch of mana I already sunk in, but that's all right. So you can take two 4 DU buff beams or walls. Put them right across here. And then reconnect it back together with a buff beam. And then come back here and take a nap when your DSTs. I already hit that. We can get it all the way. Maybe? No. Or I did get it. Okay. Just going to throw the rest of the juice here into the DSTs. And I mean, it's literally nap it out, you know? You can't stream on both at the same time. Twitch is very, very greedy and doesn't allow that. I could stream to YouTube and somebody else at the same time. But Twitch won't allow you to stream somewhere else and to them at the same time. Kind of a no-no in the Twitch world. I actually got a warning letter from them about doing it back when I first became a Twitch affiliate. I'm going to guess that the update's probably like a month away, though, Nini. I mean, we don't have any real clue of when it's coming. But they've been very, very forceful with the whole, it'll be here when it's done thing. So, I mean, that leads me to believe that it's not close. So, like a month, 2 months. It won't be 2 months, I don't think. But I think a month for sure. But, I mean, fighting the Demon Lord is all about understanding the Demon Lord's mechanics. So what's the Demon Lord do? Well, if he's in melee range of you, he's going to swing at you. If he doesn't have line of sight of you, he's going to fly across the map and come to you. So if you always give him clear line of sight, he's going to do the same 2 attacks. His first little attack is going to put that fire on the ground that'll burn you, but the range on that is like non-existent. So you just sidestepping just the tiniest little bit like that completely removes you from harm. When that ability is on cooldown, he's going to switch over to throwing fireballs at you. And the fireballs move very, very slow. The Demon Lord has very low projectile speed. So dodging them is just a piece of cake, you know? But anyway, we'll be to that point here in a moment. What do I want to loot it on? I've already got so many good demon horns. I don't really feel like I need... I mean, what else do you even bother with other than a demon horn, right? The gun? From this boss? Yeah, I do love that whole bonus wave thing that's coming. That's just going to be so good, you know? There's only one bonus wave. So basically, it'll be like you get a wave 26 when doing survival. And it's something you'll have to opt into. So I'm assuming it will be like a toggle, just like hardcore or whatever it is. And the bonus wave will drop that map's loot at the difficulty, or at the, well, the map difficulty for that wave, plus the loot quality for that wave will be at the highest difficulty boss that you've cleared. And the highest difficulty boss they've already said is going to be the Keep map, which is the 3rd map in Act 4. And that is going to have a new boss. And the new boss is going to... yeah, you'll get a rock pet. So exactly, it makes farming much more easier. Like right now, if you want a high quality pet, you have to go to that axe boss. And then there's massive RNG involved. So if you're wanting to farm, say, a genie, you'll be able to go in, clear the highest boss you can, then go back and do ramparts, and you'll get the genie pet. Except the genie pet will drop in the quality range. Now remember, the quality range goes low too. So it's not like instant free pet. But it's going to greatly increase your chances, of getting a higher quality one. Well, some of those were so broken with their OP rolls, I had mine. I actually ended up selling it just because I was so tempted to continue using it because the bonus damage was so much higher. But I got rid of it just to get it out of my inventory. I didn't have any that were that broken. Mine got rolled back. That was a while ago, many updates ago, when they did the update that originally changed the pets, mine got dialed down then. The cat I normally use, I'll actually throw it on here. The cat I normally use is, I think it's like 122. So, I mean, it's a good cat, but it's not like those old nightmare cats, I think my nightmare cat was like, 135 or 143 or something like that. Some ungodly large number. Yeah, those cats from early access and beta were completely broken. It was fun to one-shot bosses. That's fair. Actually, I'm not going to bother with the cat, because I'm trying to show here that you don't need to be putting massive DPS onto the boss. In fact, with a build like this, you can even die if you do the right thing. The thing is, okay, the Demon Lord's going to go for you, right? After he goes for you, he's going to go for the closest available target, which you want the next target to be the walls, right? So, like, if you die, you want the Demon Lord to aggro to the walls next. So you'd want to fight the Demon Lord from over here. If you go and you hang out by your DSTs and you try to fight the Demon Lord here, then he's going to come over and wreck your DSTs instead. I don't know. We'll have to see. The problem the Apprentice has is the squishy factor, not necessarily the mana bomb. The mana bomb's not bad now. It's just the Apprentice is so squishy, and I still think they need to tone that down. Bosses should not be hitting you for 75% or 100% of your life. I mean, a boss should hit you for what, 25%, right? I don't know anymore. Thank you so much. Or was that I don't know anymore? I don't know. My alert didn't pop up properly. This 3 hours ago. I don't know. I'm not sure what that alert was, but thank you an absolute ton. Well, the thing now is the skill stat caps out so low. Alright, so yeah, anyway, we want to upgrade our walls. And let's just get to the boss. I'll shoot the crystals, but won't shoot the boss. How's that? I guess I'm just going to throw a rogue and a warden in my deck on the first day, just to level them up. Run a couple of, I got to check. I got to run a Glitterhelm Rifted and a Glitterhelm Mixed Mode and see which one is more XP. I think Mixed Mode will probably end up being more XP. But I'm going to run those two, and hell, it'll only take like one map, I think, and it'll be like level 75 or whatever. Oh, yeah. This map was brutal. During the beta, this map had the best loot. It sucked farming this map. It took so long before the skip to waves started happening. Just a ridiculous amount of time. It still burns really slow. The map does. Well, when they changed the lane schedules for game optimization, it made the map start running really, really slow. It's like that's all the juice. Oh, at least an hour 20. I mean, the hour 20 runs were after you were already geared. Prior to that, it was taking even longer, you know? Come on, 200 mobs, just all die already, would you? Jeez. Definitely exciting things incoming, though. All the years of fails in DD2, and even the start to chromatic games for DDA, has still got me wondering if they're going to be able to pull it all off, though. Alright, so anyway, we don't want to be near our DSTs in any way, shape, or form, so we're going to come all the way across the map. We're going to start fighting right above the furnace here. Now remember, as long as we keep line of sight on the Demon Lord, the Demon Lord's going to do the fire on the ground, which we can easily sidestep, and he's going to throw fireballs, which we can easily avoid. I usually get caught by one of them at the beginning because I fail jump. Okay, here comes the fire attack. We'll step out of it. See, I haven't shot the Demon Lord at all. And my DSTs are just plugging away. Now I just sit here and just avoid the fireballs. DSTs just getting it. They're actually getting some mobs up on them now, but the Demon Lord's almost dead anyway. So yeah, there you go. I mean, you don't even need to shoot them. So a weapon is just not needed for the Demon Lord fight. Now, obviously, if you are shooting them, you're going to make it go quicker. But yeah, no need to even shoot them. Let's get us a fancy schmancy new weapon here. Let's see what we got. We got some crappy bracers. Looks like we got a cat. Vitality, attack, skill. I mean, 239 upgrades. I wonder what that'll go up to. We got crappy minor piece. A crappy, yeah, I guess that's a good starter apprentice item. Let's take a look at this cat, see what it'll go up to. Head out to tavern here. Anyway, what y'all doing today? What's everybody up to? Yep, on a cat you get the builder stats. I mean, that's fine though, because now you're doing all these hybrids anyway. Let's see what this bad boy will go up to. I got a feeling it's not going to be very high. Yeah, we're not even going to get to 100. Or we'll get to 100, but we're not going to get super far over. I mean, it's got good stats on it for a hybrid, but the damage roll is just too low. 102% bonus damage. But yeah, it's got good hybrid stats. I'll save it for somebody, assuming trading ever becomes a thing. Somebody that might be an upgrade for somebody. This is the one I normally use. 121. Hey, you know what? That one's not even worth saving for anybody, because I've got better transcendent cats. Let me just go ahead and just trash it. All right, so let's get back into glitter, or not glitter helm, endless spires, y'all. Anybody that wants to join me, I'm gonna queue it up public. So just look on the browser there. I still use a cat. I use a cat over a genie, but part of that is my playstyle. Like if I ran around the map more, I would want to use a genie. But since I don't, I'm not really a run around the map kind of guy. I mean, I might be soon, depending on how fun the rogue is. But I prefer to play a booster monk versus a run-around monk. Endless Spires is minor helmets and primitive... What is it? Primitive boots. Minor helmets and primitive boots. See, I needed to get a better head and some better boots. Those are both really low rolls. Anyway, anybody that wants to join, feel free to hop on in. Massacre, Hardcore, Rifted, Endless Spires. We'll make it public. Wave 23 start. What's going on there, AG? AJ, how you doing? I'm gonna need an upgrade on that snare. Doing good, very nice. So what's everybody playing this weekend? Anybody playing anything new and exciting? I've been having some fun in Evil Genius too, but boy, I've got a lot to learn. I got a lot to learn about that game, that's for damn sure. I'm gonna stream some more of it over probably later on tonight over on Twitch. Put one more up there first. Can I get a DST, please? I changed my DST placements on this one. I turned them around a little bit. I got mixed emotions on it. I'm not sure if that's the way to go. Then we need what? We need some gas up in here. Give me the gas. We getting gassy. I like to put the gas up here a little bit close too. That way I can throw it in the buff beam. It gives it a little bit more range over into the side areas to gas them up a little as they're making their way, making their approach. Throw some ups on anything. What's going on, Josh? How you doing? So yeah, this is a super chill build, you know. That's all changing, Michael, in the next update. I'm going to be doing, I've been slacking a bit on the edited content lately. I am going to start adding in a editing day and start doing some side series again, which I haven't done in a little while. So we'll have some more edited content come to the channel and not just all live streams. I know some people like the streams, but others not so much. What we got here? We only got one person joined us. We got Maddie's and T-Spawn. Going to try to get some people when Sith Phil comes on later. I'm going to try to get some people, well, a full group, to burn through the campaign really quick on probably on a lower difficulty, just for the achievement. I know a lot of people haven't gotten that because you have to do it in a 4-player group. I did it on stream, so that made it a little bit easier for me personally. But to find a 4-player group sometime to go through the entire campaign is kind of tough, you know? Yeah, but anyway, Michael, like I said, the next update, all of that is even changing. Well, I mean, at level 70, you don't have to worry about it. You don't need to fine-tune sets of gear that early in game. Just equip the best things you have and keep moving up and earn an XP. I got it too, but like I said, I got it on stream, so it was a lot easier for me. Should be soon, AJ. Should be soon. It's in the initial, what do they call it? It's not like Sony and Microsoft call it certification. Lot check, I think, is what Nintendo calls it. It's in the initial lot check right now. So depending on how fast Nintendo responds and how many changes they want made to the game, because there will be a little back and forth with it. It's not like Chromatic submits it, Nintendo sits on it for a month, and then says, okay, go. There will be, no, you need to change this, no, you need to change that. and they'll, you know, Chromatic will make some changes and then resubmit it in. But it's in the initial phases now. So I mean, it could be as quick as a few weeks and as long as a month or whatever. Well, I mean, it could be longer than a month even. Stardew Valley, I know I keep referencing this because it's one of the only things I actually have solid information on. But Stardew Valley, their 1.5 update on the Switch, this is just an update too. It's not like the initial lot check or whatever like Chromatic's going through, but it took like 3 weeks to get that through the lot check for the update. So Nintendo is notoriously slow about those certification type processes, according to the interwebs anyway. So that sucks, but we know that the Switch is next. I'm going to be playing it on the Switch. I'll be on Switch on launch day. It doesn't affect the loot drops, it affects the quantity of loot. More players mean more mobs mean more loot. The quality of the loot is the same, but you get more of it. So, I mean, just getting more of it means, you know, you're going to have more chances at getting a higher quality piece. So it's definitely always worth to play in a group, unless you just hate people. And that's fine too, you know, whatever. You make your game, you know. I play solo quite a bit, not because I hate people, but just because it works out to be more convenient in the different times constraints that I have. Well, hopefully Maddie here brings a little luck. And we get some good pieces here. You don't see my game in the browser list? Do you have it unlocked? There, Fallen Unicorns? I mean, it should be. It's public. Maddie joined it without any problem. Or they might have a problem going with the browser list right now. That's always possible, too. Mixed mode is not necessarily more difficult, but it's different. Mainly because of the skeletons. It should just say Juice Bags Game, Fallen Unicorns. Or it probably isn't letting you start now because it's wave 24. That's alright, we'll be doing another one. But yeah, it won't let you join this late in the map. There we go. Well, it lets somebody join. So I guess that's not right at all. Oh, you don't have it unlocked yet? Yeah, it's possible. Massacre's a challenge. As soon as you get the Rifted DST set up, the challenge becomes greatly, greatly reduced. Yeah, but anyway, Marfy, mixed mode is got different mobs. And that's, so you have to use different builds. Like some maps, the same build will work. Other maps, you just need a different build because there's like lots of skeletons. There's also an issue where skeletons are going immune to electric auras for some reason, but they can't damage the core. So it becomes more an inconvenience than anything else. They just sit there and smack on the core forever. And you have to just wait it out or you'll kill him. They said that they're still thinking about the process, but they've said 3 different things. First, they said there will only be builder stats on some pets. Lalta said that Friday. Then Monday in Discord, Phil said, no, builder pets go against the entire concept of what they're shooting for. So there will be no more builder pets. Then on this Friday stream that just ended, they said they're still looking at the design of it and still thinking about it. So giraffes will still be in the game, but whether or not they're a builder pet anymore is going to be something different altogether. And giraffes won't be the drop from every map type thing. It'll have a specific drop location, would be my guess. Having it drop from every survival wave 25, I think they recognize that that's a little over the top, because it basically makes all the other tiers worthless, right? If you're going to do it, if you're going to get a good giraffe, you're going to get it like on Royal Gardens and up, maybe Arcane Library and up. But it takes away one of the reasons to do the other maps. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But the bonus wave thing should fix that with the pets. But like right now, for most players that have grinded out a lot of hours in DDA, the majority of the time that they've spent in DDA has been spent grinding pets. 288, that's a really low roll. Jeez. Speak of giraffes, what do we got? That's a pretty good giraffe. Not too shabby. Samiris, what's up? Yeah, it's going to be a good update. We're just going to have to see if they can pull it all off. They haven't said yet, but I'm assuming the Wave 15 ones will still be there, and they'll be at Wave 15 quality. Would be my guess. Let's do it again. I'll just keep that stuff in the inventory for now. Have to wait for people to get in before I can get any mana from them. I'll just build what I can here. Well, you'd have to have this map unlocked, so you would have to beat the previous map. Actually, for survival, you will have had to have beaten this map on campaign. Who got the mana? Here we go. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see. Let's get a couple more ups in over here. That seemed to work out okay. Let's check it in a full 4-player group. See how many mobs are creeping. So basically, I'm putting 3 directly straight down. One of the side ones, I line up with that door straight across on the bridge on the right side. And then on the left side, I line up with that other door right down there, which is probably completely pointless, but... And then these, the left side, I line up with the lower door down below. And then we'll just do the same thing, but we don't have the doors in. But same area. So one that way, and... one at the lower door down there. Holy sheep, man. What's going on? Jeremy Brooks became a member. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Welcome to the Juicy Nation. I do appreciate you a ton. All right, and then we want, what, a couple of gassers. Let's see, so we'll go right on the buff beam. Right on the buff beam. We'll spray the rest into these DSTs just to give everybody one. And did I miss one? I missed the first one? No? That's alright. I think we'll call it good anyway. Possibly, Goody. I mean, I would think that down the road, there may not be higher gear. Well, we know there will be higher quality gear, but it doesn't necessarily mean a higher rarity in this next update. Like, all of the Act 4 maps will drop loot that's better than Glitterhelm. Maybe not the bonus map. But right now, Glitterhelm is the highest quality loot in the game. In the update, all of the Act 4 maps will, with the exception of maybe not the Encore map. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the level requirements will be. I mean, we don't even know for sure that means the level cap is going up. Phil said, like a couple of weeks ago, somebody mentioned it, and Phil said that he had over-leveled using dev commands because he's on his dev account, you know, so everything they do is they delete their saves over and over and over again. So they're always creating new characters, so they just use a dev command to level them. And he said he over-leveled. But he said it in a very sketchy manner that made me question it. Well, this week, when somebody said something, they completely avoided the topic altogether. Wow, thank you so much. I don't know who Anonymous was, but I do appreciate you a ton. But yeah, anyway, it just seemed really sketchy. So, I mean, don't bank on the fact that there's even level requirements going up until they announce it, because that may have just been something them playing with the dev commands, whatever. It just seemed really sketchy. I mean, like I said, they are so... Lalta has got no poker face. Sorry, Lalta. I do apologize. But it's the truth, man. If you ever want to play live poker, Lalta, I will play live poker with you any day. You can completely tell when he's trying to backtrack out of something. He'll like either completely avoid the comment that someone's posting over and over again, or he'll give you some completely ridiculous bullshit story that's the first thing that popped into his head that makes no sense whatsoever and play it off like he's joking. So Lalta in Elandrian was the same way, but Elandrian was always on camera, and with Elandrian it was the facial features. It was very, very easy to read when Elandrian was pulling your leg. So Lalta, it's the voice. Elandrian, it was the face. Like, if somebody was onto something with Elandrian, like, his eyes would get real big. It was pretty funny. But yeah, anyway, love you to death there, Lalters. Oh, that was you, Jeremy. Well, thank you so much. Forgot to add your name. It happens. Well, I do appreciate you a ton. Yeah, anyway, love Lalters, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, no poker face. Phil does pretty good with it. He does smirk a little. You can see Phil's facial features sometime and see if there's something sketchy going on. Jeremy, thanks an absolute ton. Well, early game. Oh no! Early game, the apprentice's stuff scales really well. Late game, that's not necessarily the case. You got to remember too, the scaling when you upgrade the physical damage on a pole arm. Like, I don't have it now. Or if you upgrade that... Oh, I don't have it now at all. But if you upgrade the physical damage on a weapon, like say the physical damage number there, that's your melee swing. So on a monk, that wouldn't really be something that you looked at. And then you don't upgrade range damage on a monk's weapon. Never upgrade the range damage. Like on a staff, or say a gun here, you would upgrade the range DPS. You never do that to a polearm. Always upgrade the physical damage. But the range DPS scales lower because it has different scalers in game. Like the physical damage gets scaled way down in Nightmare Massacre mode. Actually, in Nightmare, they're the same. But the in Massacre mode, the monk's ranged attack doesn't get scaled down as far. And still does shit. On the monk, always do elemental damage. Just do it. And it still scales off your hero boost. So yeah, definitely elemental damage on the monkaliciousness. But remember too, episode 1's coming, so any upgrades you put in now, all of those upgrades will be refunded with the new system. No, not cross-platform. It's going to have cross-saves at some point, but no cross-platform. That was one of the things I was so excited about the game. Because, there's people that watch the channel that are on PlayStation, that are on Xbox, that are on PC. I want to be able to play with everybody, And the cross-saves give me the ability to do that without, completely throwing my entire life away, grinding 26 hours a day. I had to learn that lesson the hard way in DD2 before I abandoned the consoles. It's just Dungeon Defender games are too grindy to try to play them on multiple platforms. Just too much grind. But that would allow me to pop on to my Xbox and play on this account that I'm on right now, or I can play on PC and play on this account, or I can jump on the Switch or the PlayStation, and that's a feature that they've promised since day one, so they need to get that going. It feels like, from their responses lately, it feels like that's really on the back burner. Theoden! What's going on, Theoden? How you doing? Hopefully that's not the case. If so, there's going to be some seriously ragey people. Me included. You can't promise something for that long and act like it's an easy peasy feature to implement, and then all of a sudden when it comes time to put it in, you can't get it in the game. So cross saves are something they definitely need to think about. A higher quality will be added eventually, like a higher rarity. Higher quality loot will be here every update. Every episode update, there will be higher quality loot. But as far as a different rarity, like going up to Supreme or Ultimate, I'm sure that that's going to happen eventually, but it's not going to be soon. It'll be down the road towards, towards the last group of updates. I would guess that they're going to have Supreme in Ultimate, like DD1. Now, I don't think they'll go up to the Ultimate Plus and the Ultimate Plus Plus and all that crap. But I do think they'll have Supreme and Ultimate gear eventually. But, that's talking a couple years down the road, probably. You started on PC, but all your friends play on Xbox. Yeah, man, it's the cross save. They need to get it going, you know. CFOS, what's up? What's up? Mojo, welcome. The accounts got wiped right at launch. There was too many hackermans in the game that ruined the dropping loot, sadly. All the hackermans figured out real quick how to dupe gear, and they ended up having to take that out because there was too much exploitation going on. Well, it depends. There was a window. There was a window where you could have logged in and got your stuff copied over, but if you went past that window, then the files got deleted. They gave everybody warnings of all that stuff, but you had to be paying attention to it, you know. The entire system is being reinvented in the episode 1 update anyway, Goody, so don't even sweat it. Just go in and get leveled up and have some fun and play around, and don't worry about the loot. Every piece of loot that every single player has, literally every single piece of loot, is going to be you're going to be wanting to replace it, because there's going to be higher quality stuff in the episode 1 update. Just the nature of the systems that they're putting in place is going to completely change everything. I'm stoked. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, that means I got to regrind everything, but that's fun, you know. Having a purpose is what you need. That's why I don't play DD2 as much anymore. I have no more purpose. If they could just change some of DD2's stuff to give you a reason to play the game, you know? They just have refused to do that up to this point, though, sadly. You waiting for them carries, Thaden? What, on Xbox or on Switch? I'm gonna say on Switch, you're gonna have to carry me, man. I mean, it depends. If they get the cross-save thing in, I'm hoping maybe they can get the cross-save thing implemented with Switch. I mean, that would be awesome if they did. Oh, that's exactly the case, Morphy. It's the same as every game. I mean, people get real invested or thinking that they're owed something because of the time they played, and you're supposed to play a game to have fun. So the time you play a game, you're rewarded with fun. That's your reward, right? If you're not having fun, then why the hell are you not playing it? Or why are you playing it anyway? What's going on, Bradley? But, I mean, look at World of Warcraft. You know, I grinded vanilla Warcraft for many, many, many years. Was decked out in best in slot gear on... What, I had a High Warlord and a Grand Marshal. So, I mean, I was pretty decked. Plus, both of them rated. So, I had next stuff as well. So, I was extremely decked. And Burning Crusades came along, and... like within 2 or 3 days, all of my stuff is replaced. Oh, wow, crappy low roll there. There's a good miner helmet for a builder, but I don't need it. 342, no, not all 4 builder stats. So sadly, a dud piece for the primitive, and that's really what I'm looking for. Actually, it's power, range, and rate. But it's barely an upgrade over what I'm currently using, so it'd be no point in doing it. Alright, Thaden. Well, hopefully work goes by quick today. Yeah, exactly. You have all the best gear, it makes it easier for you to get started and getting the new stuff. My son is all stoked about that classic Burning Crusade server. They're doing all the pre-patch stuff now. He was trying to lure me back in. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. All of Rifted gear is all targeted farming, Bradley. There's videos on my channel about it, or if you're in my Discord server, it's pinned up at the top. Let's do this one more time. But yeah, each piece drops from a specific location, so depending on what you're looking for, like the first thing I suggest anyone get is DSTs. Fusion DSTs are just really, really strong. So get those, like if you can, get them from wave 15. If you can't get them from wave 15, then get them from campaign. If you can't get them from campaign, then drop back down to Nightmare to fill in the gaps. I think it'll be hard. You gotta remember too, though, this is not a like super sweaty, massively difficult strategy game. That's not what Dungeon Defenders games are. Dungeon Defenders games, well, DD2 isn't a game about loot. Loot means nothing in DD2. That's kind of why the game has flopped so bad to many. But DD2 is a game of farming rare things. So, I mean, the difficulty is never overly complex. You know, there's a strategy, figure out the basic strategy, get a few pieces of gear and win, you know? It's not that kind of strategy game, you know? It's not Dark Souls meets Dungeon Defenders, where there's a bunch of sweaty stuff you gotta do, you know? So, I mean, I think I'm gonna beat all the new maps on the first day. I won't have all the gear, but I'll at least beat the maps on the first day. I'm pretty confident of that. But I'm also already decked out and already waiting for it to get here, you know? So for anybody that's already decked out, I mean, they're going to have all the maps cleared on the first day. But that's not the replay value. The replay value is farming the rare loot. If it's your objective just to beat the maps, then yeah, you're going to be done with that update in one day. You heard from a couple of friends that at least 80% of the players playing the Burning Crusade. Well, the Burning Crusade expansion didn't hit yet. It's the pre-patch right now. See, we got one spot open, y'all. If anybody wants in, check the browser. Now's the time. I'll give you guys a second before I start it here. So, I mean, they know that the Burning Crusades is coming. So, yeah, now would be the time to, like, level an alt or whatever. You got to play local for that, Samiris. If you play local, you could delete your local save file or just move it. Yeah, it doesn't release until next month. But the pre-patch just came out like last week. You shouldn't have to run the map. Buddy, what's going on? I mean, if the map's unlocked, you should be able to join. Oh, they're fallen unicorns. Oh, I agree. I agree. But, I mean, that's what, like, if you, most people wouldn't want to reset. So they're not going to put the like the development effort in to put that type of system in when that's not what most people would want to do, you know. But like I reset quite frequently to do those playthroughs. I've got an alt account and I play that account local, offline. And then whenever I want to reset it, like I'll be doing another one with the new heroes that come up. Whenever I reset it, I just delete the save file. Did we get a fourth? Yep, we got a fourth. Wow, look at the icon it gave me. We got Snazzy. Got Snazzy up in here. We lost a bunch of our DSTs. Gotta shoot them ogres from behind the reflect beams. Well, welcome. Welcome there, Snazzy. We only lost what? We lost 2 DSTs in our buff beam. Looks like we're going to lose the match here, though. So we don't have enough power to kill this ogre. Yep. It pays to stay behind the reflect beams. Confirmed. Well, I mean, you'd want to get the pieces that you can get, are capable of getting from Massacre, Bradley. But yeah, I mean, you can start off with Nightmare. Well, we don't know that rocks are even going to be in the game anymore, is the thing. They said that they're still unsure if there's going to be builder pets at all. Like Phil had hinted that the rock could potentially be like a tank pet. He was just theory crafting in Discord, but he did mention that. So yeah, it may not be about rocks anymore. Well, I mean, the gems, I don't see why they wouldn't keep them. Because that's not a builder pet. That's an active DPS pet. And that's what they want, is active play. So I can't see why they would take those out. I mean, they already nerfed them where they were all OP before. So I mean, there's no reason to take them out. In my opinion, anyway, there's no reason to take them out. Well, it's your active hero. By active, it means the hero that you're on. You'll never catch me knocking boost builds. I don't play this game for the action element. If I wanted to play a first-person shooter or a third-person shooter, there's like literally every other shooter out there is a far superior game. The shooter element to Dungeon Defenders games is kind of a joke. So, I mean, I'm all about the boost life. I will always play the boost life, and I will continue to play the boost life after they put this update out. The only thing that would lure me away to it is if the rogue ends up being super fun. But if the rogue's not super fun, I'm going to go right back to boosting. Now, will I be boosting something different? You know, other than DSTs? We'll find out. But yeah, I mean, look at Warframe. If I want to play a active shooty game, I'm going to log into Warframe. I'm not going to play Dungeon Defenders for that, you know? It actually kind of is irritating as hell because there are a lot of people that want to play Dungeon Defenders in that style, And that completely takes away from the tower defense aspect of the game. And in my opinion, that is the core of the game. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with people playing however they want to play. But if you can put together a good build and you can sit there and AFK it out on a DST stack, well, you're going to have to do that map 1,000 times. So why the hell not, right? Wow. I mean, who wants to do something over and over and over and over and over again that you got to run around and sweat the whole time? I mean, the fact that it's a grind game is never changing. So, I mean, I personally wish that they would focus more on tower defense elements, because that's the core of the game. Yep, it's an action defense game, but boosting towers is all the action I personally need. I don't need anything else. You know, if I want to shoot stuff, I'll do boss fights, you know, and then you can get all shooty. But that's just me. Like I said, everybody's got their how they like to play the game. I just don't want to have to run around and get all sweaty for something I'm going to have to do 1,000,000 times. If you only had to do it 4 or 5 times and you got your loot, then yeah, sure, I wouldn't mind at all. But since you've got to do it over and over and over and over and over again, the last thing I want to do is have to run around the map. Personally. I mean, to me, it's more of a game of collecting than it is, you know, some kind of action-intensive game. But, I mean, everybody's got their favorite way. I'm just giving my personal opinion, you know. That's where Chromatic has got to find that happy medium. The problem, I think, is that I don't think any single employee, except maybe Petire, plays tower defense games. I mean, I may be wrong. I know Augie does. But Augie's not active in the development of the game. He's the owner, you know. And I think that's where some of the direction of all this action-oriented stuff comes from. I've just never heard of Lalta or Phil or even Javahawk or any of the bigger names prior to that ever talking about playing another tower defense game, you know? So I'm hoping they don't completely remove the tower defense at some point, which is, I mean, that's not realistic. It's in the damn name of the game. Defenders. But you never know. I mean, we will find out. I mean, I'm excited for what they've got to come, though. They said that the game you could play the game however you wanted. If you wanted to play the less active boost style, or if you want to play a very active run around shoot 'em up style. I mean, you could do that right now too, but they said that both would be viable. But I mean, you don't have to sit here on your DSTs. You know, that's the part that I don't get with the people that criticize it. You're choosing to do that. You don't have to do that. You can run around and manually kill ogres. You don't have to wait and let your DSTs do it, you know? That, and it's good for streaming too, because I can pay more attention to chat and not have to pay attention so much as to what's, you know, got to get to lane 3 ASAP, you know. But, like I said, once again, that's just my personal opinions, but I'm a huge fan of tower defense. Just the entire genre. Love it. Love it, love it. Hopefully it's not going to be too much longer. We're going to get a little Orcs Must Die 3 going, too. I mean, it's out on Stadia now, and I could play it on Stadia, which I've already played it on Stadia. But It's gonna be way better on PC. I don't remember the Stadia launch date. I looked it up once before. I think it was in July. Because they had, the rumor is that it had 1 year Stadia exclusivity. We will see. This map does run pretty damn slow. I forgot the gas traps. Yeah, I did, huh? Did I even put the Traptress back in the deck? Just shows you how needed those gas traps are. They're like just there to fill the DU, you know? Completely unnecessary. They've said that they're looking at it, Goody. Luckily, that's a map you don't have to do very many times. Go in, get your pets, and GTFO, you know? But yeah, hopefully they switch it. I know it's extremely painful for people having to wait for all them spiders at the end of the map. It's even worse on nightmare mode. Like on Massacre, it's not that bad at all. It's bad, but it's not that bad. On nightmare mode, it's grueling. It's like minutes. Speed it up by trying to kill that lane off down there a little quicker. Did I bother with the gas traps? I never even put the Huntress back in the deck. So, I mean, that just shows you right there that the fusion gas traps are not really required. I mean, a lot of people aren't using them at all. A lot of people are going with bigger DST stacks with only one Aura stack. Well, I mean, that's the pet you're going for there. Oh, you mean the of defense pet. I see you. I get what you mean. You'll get it. You'll get it there, Goody. Just got to grind it out for a day, and then you'll be done with it. Look at it that way. Once you get it, you're done with it. You only need one, you know? And there's like no reason to really, as long as you get the 4 targets, there's no really reason to sweat the quality of that at all. Another thing is, since you're going for the pet and you're not going for you don't need anything else other than the pet, is play it solo. Don't play it in groups, because groups intensify that spider problem. Playing it solo, it's just not that big of a deal. It's like a few seconds and the spiders are dead. Because the pet, what pet drops or the quality of the pet is not changed at all by how many players you have in the group. You're guaranteed to get that pet for doing the map, you know? Can I give you some tips on dungeon defenders? Well, I mean, there's a whole lot of them on my YouTube channel. If there's something specific you're curious about, I can probably help you out with, but just asking for tips is pretty wide range. You know, what are you having issues with? Or what is your biggest question about dungeon defenders? God, I've done this map so many times. I can't believe I haven't gotten a better pair of boots from it. I don't remember this song at all from the playlist. Weird. Well, no, I mean, if you have, there's no bad questions, Trevor. Feel free to ask whatever you want, but I mean, that's just kind of a big, wide blanket question that you asked. So, I mean, yeah, I could answer it, and I have answered it in many, many videos on my channel, but it's something that is like an hour-long answer. What level or build is easiest to find rift weapons solo in Massacre? Well, what depending on what hero you're looking for depends on what boss you want. And then, I mean, fusion DSTs. The more fusion defenses you have, the easier it will be. But at a minimum, have a fusion DST set. And that will make the completions much, much easier than without. I mean, if you have ensnare auras and electric auras and gas traps, I mean, all that just adds more gravy on top. All right, we got godly boots. It's actually, they're better than the ones I have, but they're still shit. What's the ones I have? Let me say. They're barely better. I would actually lose range and rate, and I don't care about the fortify. So those are actually not wonderful. What about our giraffe here? Oh, boo. Another boo minor piece too. Sucks. But yeah, any weapons are all about the bosses, Andrew. So depending on what hero you're trying to deck out would be which boss you wanted to farm. So if you just let us know which boss you want to farm, or what hero you're trying to deck, we can tell you what boss to farm. Get rid of that poop. $13. I still got what? 52 and 25. I got 77 more items I can loot before I'm full. I'm gonna have to go through and clean out my inventory again. I've been hanging on for as long as I can, but all right. Well, I don't want to bore you guys with more endless spires over and over again, so let's do a different map. I need lava mines too. Lava mines, I use a few more heroes. Oh yeah. Once the update drops, I will without a doubt be dumping my inventory space will be opening up big time. Well, I mean, a level 200 fusion weapon is all you need to start farming Summit survival, Andrew. The Summit campaign weapon, like, you know, be a 204 roll. In fact, do I still have mine? Let's see. See if I got the one I started with. I may have trashed it. I think that may be the one. Like, that's the first rifted weapon I went through. That came from campaign. So, I mean, this is going to be better than everything that drops into survival for a monk prior to going up higher. Well, no. I mean, the weapons don't matter until you get to Massacre. There's no special weapons prior to Massacre mode, so weapons just don't matter at all prior to that. Like, your first weapon grind, use whatever you get until your first weapon grind should be Demon Lord campaign. That's like the first place where you should actually care about the weapon on Massacre. Prior to that, just use the best thing that you got. Let's drop some gassiness. And we'll head up here. So yeah, you're not going to get a weapon that high in Nightmare. I mean, you could. But you don't get the weapon you're looking for on a monk is the Drake Tooth. It drops from Massacre Summit. You know, the weapon you'd be looking for on a Huntress would be the Spitfire. It drops from Massacre. Actually, it's called the Dragoon now, not the Spitfire. The Dragoon. It drops from Massacre Summit. The best weapon for the Apprentice would be the Crystalline Focuser. It drops from Massacre Summit. The only one that has options is the Huntress or the EV. Like, the Alchemical Labs weapon is pretty good. The Chimera Shot. God, I keep calling it the Demon Horn. The Chimera Shot is pretty good. All right, let's see. Let's drop my gas trap here so I can swap my deck a little. I like to put walls in on this map. Well, yeah, you don't upgrade that one for fusion damage. You upgrade the physical damage on it, and that gets converted to fusion damage. So if you're an attack damage hero, if you're focused on your attack stat, that's going to be the best in slot weapon for you. But you have to get like over 6,500 attack just to break even with what the Dragoon can do. But remember, all damage on a fusion weapon gets converted to fusion damage. So, like, where is the Chimera Shot I use? That's not it. But if you look at it, the range DPS is upgraded. Well, the range DPS gets converted to fusion damage. So, since this weapon would be used... Sure, I got better ones that aren't upgraded, but since that weapon would be used on an attack stat hero, you upgrade the range damage on it. So it's going to scale up with the attack stat, and then it's all going to get converted to fusion damage. Yeah, if you want to put fusion walls here, go for it. God dang it, I dropped you too much. Oops. All right, now what? We need what? We need DSTs, and we need a buff beam down here. I think that's it. Some reflex. Grab our Traptress back so that we're all gassy there. And then this map, I usually switch over to a striking gemstone. Makes clearing those bads up top a little bit easier to deal with. Let's see, so our weak spot will be this lane. I guess I could have changed those DST placements a little, and then we wouldn't really had a weak spot, but so I'm going to switch old Boosty over to a striking. Striking gemstone. And I'm going to park him down on this side so that the striking is being hit. Now, in a group environment, if you got somebody else with a striking, they can chill over here and buff these auras, which is pretty huge. But, you know, it depends on your group composition, of course. But yeah, this will be our weak lane right here. Mainly for just the first wave. Once you get some upgrades in, then this lane's not really that big of a deal. I like gas traps better, but I like CC. I like the crowd control. The fusion buff beam, if you're doing wallless builds, doesn't do anything for you. Now, obviously, we're not doing a wallless build here. We got walls right up there, but if you were going full wallless, then that buff beam's not going to get you anywhere. But that's what I used first. I went for buff beams, but, you know, right at first I was using walls everywhere. This map runs a little slow, too. I think it's just because enemies have so far to walk. Uh-oh. Yeah, we got him. Piece of cake. You get some ups in, those DSTs will burn through those ogres. Wow, man, the temperature here has been changing so drastically. Like, it's super hot, then super cold, then super hot, then super cold. It's bouncing, I mean, not super cold, and I guess not really super hot either. But it's like one day it'll be like 90 degrees, and the next day it's like a high of 45 Fahrenheit, you know? Just been bouncing so heavily here this last couple of weeks. But like today, it's starting to get a little warm in my room here. You know, I'm gonna crack a window here in a second. Just getting hot. Getting hot. You live in Toronto? Yeah, you guys get some crazy weather, huh? But yeah, like last week we had a day where like the low in the middle of the night was like almost like 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And then like 2 days ago we had a freeze warning. Well, yeah, Arizona, man, that's the real deal. That's the oven there. Well, I lived in Vegas for a long time. Vegas is really hot like that too. It's only nice on Christmas when you get to go wear your shorts and tank top out on Christmas. It's pretty awesome then, but man, the rest of the year it's just hotter than shit. It's not humid, but it gets like to 120 degrees plus. Vegas kind of sucks to live in. There's nothing to do. You get bored with the whole gambling and casino thing. The novelty of it wears off really, really quick. And once the novelty wears off, then Vegas is not a very good place to live. No one cares about Vegas. Like, no one has any pride in their city. There's not very many people from there. You know, like the majority of the population that live there are not from there, you know? And they just don't, they're there for work or whatever. I mean, that's why I was there. I originally moved there because of I was a corporate guy for Jiffy Lube, and we were putting a bunch of Jiffy Lube franchises in Vegas. And then I ended up going to work in the casinos, and I stayed there because of the casino business, you know? But it's not a wonderful place to live. Well, like Texas is the real deal in that department. I spent a bunch of time in Houston too, and that is miserable there. You'll get those 115 degree, 120 degree Fahrenheit days where it's 90% humidity. Nah, I quit the corporate life. I got burnt out pretty heavily. I was doing really well for myself, but I was completely miserable, you know? So I quit that long ago and worked in casinos for a bunch of years after. And then right now I do YouTube and Twitch, but then I do a lot of consulting, little small consulting jobs for casinos. I was a pit boss at casinos in Vegas. And then when I left Vegas, I continued to work in casinos, and I was either a pit boss or, like the last several years before I quit, I was doing a lot of training classes. One of the things when you get like outside of Vegas, it's not really an issue. Or I mean, in Vegas, it's not really an issue. But like with a lot, and same thing for like Louisiana and New Jersey, it's not really an issue. But the tribal casinos that are scattered all across the country, they don't have a lot of trainers or people that are capable of teaching people how to deal the games. So like I taught a craps and roulette class for several years, was my main work, and then I'd fill in as a pit boss in between classes. Usually, well, I mean, I'd watch everything, but normally I was on craps or roulette. But, watching blackjack games too. And then now I haven't done a class in a long time because those are like a roulette class is a minimum of a 4-week time commitment, 5 days a week. And craps class is a minimum of 6 weeks, normally more like 12 weeks. So I haven't taught any classes in a long time, but I have taught and not really classes, but more like just little mini training sessions with surveillance employees at various casinos as a consulting basis. Mainly teaching their surveillance employees how to identify card counters. which is pretty easy to do, but you got to learn how to do it before, you know, obviously before you know. Sadly, though, that line of work has made it so I can't play blackjack in... Not that I'm a big casino goer anyway, but I'm not legally allowed to play blackjack in like 12 or 15 states. Too much knowledge on how to count the decks down. I can count down a 6-deck shoe relatively consistently. That's what I wanted to play. I was debating on getting that. What was that game? Is Fisk here? Or Blazin'? Either of you guys here? I don't think so. What was that game? God, I can't remember. God, terrible. There was a game that was out relatively recently, within the last few years, that had casinos and casino games in their game. And rumor had it that it actually used an actual deck for their blackjack games. I wanted to play that game just to go into the casino and count the decks. Just to see if it was a legit deck or not. But, I mean, you can't be buying AAA games just for that. You know, it costs too much money. God, I can't believe I can't remember the name of the game. It's a big franchise, too. Favorite breakfast buffet was at the Luxor. Well, I mean, I can't just throw money at games that I'm only not going to play or put any real time into there, President. You can track whether the deck is in the favor of the player or the house, basically. Nah, it's not GTA. GTA would never have something that complex. It's one of the... Hey, I just can't remember. If Fisk or Blazin' was here, they would know. Or Dizzy Diana. She played it. It's a big franchise. I just can't remember the name of the game. Everybody will recognize it as soon as it comes to me, but it's never going to come to me. The Witcher, does The Witcher have casinos in it? Come on, President. Of course it's not The Witcher. Yakuza, there we go. See, Dizzy's here. I told you she'd know. It was Yakuza Like a Dragon. Supposedly their casinos used actual decks for the math. I knew Dizzy would know. I gotta go open a window after this map. It is just starting to bake in this room. Actually, I can hear the dogs going ape shit. So I'm assuming my wife and mother-in-law must be home. Somebody parked in the driveway. No, that's my wife. I was gonna say, it looks like our car. It's a white car, but couldn't see enough of it. That Like a Dragon game, I know a lot of people that played it, Murphy, and no one, I haven't heard anyone say anything negative about it. And I know a bunch of people that played it, you know, and put a bunch of hours into it. Usually you're always going to have somebody that's going to hate on a game, you know, or not enjoy it. But that thing is pricey, man. They're proud of it. It's got a name to it, and they're selling the name, you know? $60. I want to say I thought it was on the Game Pass, but it's not on the Game Pass for PC. It's only on the Game Pass for the console itself, I believe. Wrong button. Well, yeah, I mean, it might not be some people's flavor, you know? Boo. Crappy Transcendent piece. Boo. Crappy giraffes. Nothing but poo. Leave all that shit laying on the ground. Bunch of junk. Let's try it one more time. Oops, wrong button. Head on up here. I got mine set like this. So basically, I don't loot anything below 390 upgrades unless it's a fusion piece. And then I loot all accessories. So I just auto sell the pets and stuff. Or I don't, I mean, I loot all the pets, but I just look at them and then sell them, you know. Let's see, do we still got Snazzy. Want to get another wall up here. Is that Snazzy? My harpoons are... My harpoons are crap. I've never taken them seriously since Rift Mode came out. I've got a set, but they're not good. Oh shit. I over upgraded. I don't have enough to put the DSTs down. God dang it. I need what? I need 900 for the DSTs. I feel like somebody's probably still got some mana. Shit. Gonna have to DPS this first wave pretty heavily. Transmogs are just loot that you find. So once you get the loot, you unlock the transmog. Alright. We're gonna need some DPS. Yeah, all of my rocks came from Demon Lord. Goddamn spiders, man. Shit, we got mad ogres up there. That wall's getting burned down quick. Ah, this is just a do-over. I don't know what happened, if I over-upgraded or if somebody didn't drop mana. Come on and smash the core and get this shit over with, damn it. I think I over-upgraded, was it? Ran out of mana. Yeah, this is Massacre. I don't really... That's all I really play anymore is Massacre. I might do a Nightmare Day to help people get through maps at some point. But right now, that's basically all I play. Well, or you just don't over-upgrade, and then it's a non-issue. I don't even know I over-upgraded. I either over-upgraded or somebody didn't drop the mana. I don't place the DSTs first, just out of habit. This is just how I've always done it. Snazzy need mana. Deadly Striker Tower, yeah, is the DST. It's pretty commonly used, so you will hear that name, no doubt. There we go. Should be a whole different game this time. Let's grab our gas back. Well, I mean, level an EV. There's no reason for you not to have an EV. Gotta remember the game is balanced around all those features. So, I mean, you can do it without it. We all did it without it prior to that. You know, prior to the EV getting here. But, I mean, the game is currently balanced for the EV. So, yeah, somebody didn't drop the mana is what happened there. Because I got 2 things upgraded fully now. Well, I mean, Nightmare, the jump to Nightmare is just dealing with the Nightmare enemies. You can do it. The easiest thing to do is start off with get to Ancient Mines, the second map, you know? So just do the first 2 maps in Nightmare. As soon as you get to Ancient Mines, switch over to Survival and get yourself some Ancient Mines survival gear. If you can't do, if you're having trouble doing it on Survival, try it on Pure Strategy. And then the gear you get from those modes will literally make going through the rest of the campaign like completely snoozer. Yeah, well, Ancient Mines is the go-to first stop. You know, if you're new to any tier, no matter what tier you're going into, Ancient Mines should be your first stop. 2 to 3 months, that's a little excessive. But a couple of days, for sure. Definitely no reason to stay there for 2 or 3 months. Or you spent 2 or 3 months there because of the old rock pet farm, maybe? You only get to play an hour or 2 a day. That's fair. I mean, still no reason. Like, for me, when I'm going through on new playthroughs, as soon as I get to the point where I can clear Ancient Mines, like usually like the 3rd or 4th attempt, then I'll do like one wave 20 or wave 23 start, and then I'll move away from Ancient Mines and go to Prom. There's no reason to stay in Ancient Mines once you're capable of clearing it. If you clear it once, you're going to get enough gear to clear Prom. You know? Well, yeah, once you get that survival, or even the pure strategy gear is not going to be as good, but that's going to be way, way easier. Matthias, what's up, man? Long time no see. Once you get some survival gear, though, going through the campaign is going to be super easy for you. It's like you're over geared for it. I mean, survival gear is just so much better than campaign gear that even Ancient Mines survival is just extremely, you know, it's just way better. You're going to be way OP. Well, because the gear quality, your stats are going to be so much higher. You're going to be hitting like a truck compared to anything in campaign. I run with really low range on my apprentice. I'm not even sure if I got... I'm not sure what range I got. It's not high. I do know that. The problem with Pure Strat is it's survival gear without having hardcore enabled, so it's instantly 25% lower quality. Now, as a starter, obviously that's a great place to start. But the gear quality is pretty substantially different between survival and pure strat. But yeah, that's what I usually suggest new players. Go to Ancient Mines, try survival. If you can't make it to like wave 15, if you're coming right out of, say you're going from insane mode to nightmare mode, and you're coming right out of doing an insane survival, you completed the insane campaign, you finally hit level 70 and unlocked nightmare, you should be able to make it to like wave 12, wave 14, maybe even wave 15 of Ancient Mines, just in your insane mode gear. And that's going to give you such massive, massive upgrades. You're going to want to start collecting rifted gear or fusion gear, Matthias. It's all map specific. There's videos on my channel about it. But that's where you're going to want to start. Yeah, wave 21's that kind of that transition wave. Yeah, I mean, you've already got level 100. I'm sure you're probably, or you're not going to be in Massacre gear yet. I would maybe push into doing some Massacre first, and then once you get a few gear upgrades, and switch over to Rifted. I mean, you could go right to Rifted, but it's going to be harder for you than going Massacre first. But yeah, you'll want to replace everything you have. The EV's super good. She has one problem playing her actively, and that's her mobility is an issue. Yeah, EVA. She's got some mobility issues playing her actively, where in Massacre you might struggle a little bit. But she's definitely solid. New boss weapons. We'll have to see if they're any good, you know? I mean, it might be do the new boss and then go back and do Summit to get yourself a higher quality Drake Tooth or whatever, you know? I mean, we'll have to see, you know? What will be best in slot? We don't know until we get our hands on the goodies, you know? Gots to get the goodies. Well, no, that's not how it'll work, Christian. How it works is you do the keep, and then you'll go back to the summit and do the bonus wave. The keep will drop all new weapons. It won't drop a Chimera shot. So the Chimera shot is Demon Lord, right? So what you would do is you would complete the keep, then you'd go back and do the Demon Lord with the bonus wave enabled. Yeah, this is Rifted Massacre, Matthias. The boss weapons are just best in slot in Massacre mode, goody, for every hero. It's doesn't do anything nostalgic. It's just there for fun. The QR code is more like just a little Easter egg. It doesn't actually do anything or unlock anything or give you anything. You go to the website, you can look at the source code and see what the password is and type in the username and password on the website. But yeah, sad. I mean, it's cool that they put it in, but there's no, it just does nothing, you know? There's no reason, rhyme or reason for it to be there. Yeah, you remember the phone number? I think the phone number turned into a bit of a nightmare for him. Somebody had to check the messages, you know? I think it was the community manager back then got stuck dealing with it. Power, Matthias, all power. They bring back the fish in a gold, the fish in a bowl. I'd be good with it. This is a cute looking pet, you know, one of the like milestone pets in DD1. Will there be voice chat ever? I doubt it. In Dungeon Defenders. It was in DD2 at launch, and everyone hated it, and it was irritating as fuck, and there was a bunch of idiots trolling everybody. So I don't think they'll ever put voice into DDA. I mean, they might. I don't think they ever will, though. Discord too strong, you know? Nobody wants to compete with it anymore. It's not really needed, but it is helpful, you know? It's helpful when you have brand new people and you're on console and you can't type messages to them. But I mean, I don't turn voice on in any game that has in-game voice personally. I just don't like listening to irritating people. I would just rather not have that experience. So, like any game that does have in-game voice, like as part of it, I instantly turn it off. It's the most irritating thing ever. I mean, maybe I just get shit luck and I'm always matched up with a 7-year-old that screams and cries, you know? It's funny when you're in the mood for it, but the 99% of the time when you're not in the mood for it, I ain't gonna lie, I used to turn that shit on and troll the hell out of the kiddos in TF2. Go into those achievement servers on the wrong side and start wrecking them all. They would get so irritated. They would literally scream and cry and over the top. But, I mean, when I did that, I was doing it with my son, and we were doing it specifically to be trolls and listen to people cry, you know. What's going on there, Zia? Trippy, how you guys doing? That was some of the funniest shit ever. That was before, I don't even know if they still have those achievement servers now that it's free to play. But before it's free to play, there would be achievement servers set up with just bots. And, you know, you'd go in and just spray these bots down that would automatically respawn over and over and over again. But when you join the map, you get the choice on what team you'd join. So I would join the bot team and go save the bots. You know, my son and I would both pop in on an engineer, get some turrets dropped, and it's like, come on out, fellas. But people would scream and cry so loud, you'd eventually get banned from the server. But, so, I mean, if there was no admin on, sometimes it would take a while. There's spotlights on all that stuff in my channel, Zia. There's been no... Basically, look at every video on my channel for DD2 that's, like, within the last 3 years. Disregard Grave Infection, as it's been nerfed into the ground now, and the build is still valid. So, I mean, DD2 is just... It's DD2, you know? They finally gave us an update after 2 years, and all they did was nerf everything. So it's not going to be long, a few more days, and the player base is going to be dropped below free update days, sadly. I didn't have very many DD1 videos. That was before my YouTube channel really took off. I've got a few, but not very many. I just didn't make many videos back then. It was... You know, I didn't really start pumping the videos out until Orcs Must Die. Orcs Must Die 2, more specifically. That's why my YouTube channel was created, was the high scoring community, and Orcs Must Die 2 asked me to start putting videos out because I was willing to help people and teach people how to get the scores going. DDA is the first time you're going into endgame. Nice. Well, congrats, dude. What do we got? We got some stuck mobs, it looks like. I'm sure they'll just despawn, but there's one. There we go. They all did now. Well, I mean, that's comparing a free-to-play game to a pay-to-play game. The numbers will never be the same. People very, very commonly mistake that as DD2 being the more successful game. But if you look and there's 400 people on in DD2 and there's 200 people on in DDA, do you think 200 of those 400 people on in DD2 spent $30? If you do, you're delusional. Because if there's 400 people online, it's more likely that maybe 20 of them spent any money. Maybe 30 of them. If you look at other games statistics on that stuff. So, I mean, it's a free-to-play game. You can't compare the player numbers, you know. Everyone with a free-to-play button can download it. DD2 is a great game. It's just a game with no end game is the problem. It's got a really terrible, terrible end game. DD3? Well, DD3 will depend on how successful DDA is. Alright, I'm giving up on this piece of shit map already. If DDA ends up making good money, there will no doubt be a DD3. I reverse engineered the Xbox numbers a little bit, which is completely bullshit and not by no means valid numbers. But I think the Xbox launch, they made about $1 million. Remember DDE? I do. I do remember DDE. DDE wasn't all bad. It just wasn't what people wanted in any means, you know? They took it off of Steam because there was no... It doesn't cost very much to keep a server turned on for a server-sided game. Having trouble on Lava Mines. No, Lava Mines is on AFK farm there, Black White. Just not getting any loot and don't feel like running it over and over again. I don't have trouble on any map in the game. DDE wasn't that bad. The problem is the only people that played DDE were DD1 players, and DD1 was a million times better, you know. DDE was too cut down. Well, I mean, that's the name of the game there, Black White. It's all about the RNG, man. Let's see, what do we want to do? Need some of these too. I mean, I mainly need to do Lava Mines and Endless Spires, but I don't want to sit there and spam the same maps over and over again all day. So let's do a little T-Valley. Why was there TF2 people on there in DD1? That was a crossover, little crossover thing between Steam and, or between Valve and Dungeon Defenders. Remember, Dungeon Defenders was big time then. There was a time where, in the development of the original Dungeon Defenders game, where it was competing with Call of Duty on Steam. That's big, you know? Tornado Highlands is a great map. I only do Tornado Highlands if I get Aramir carries. I didn't know if you knew that, Aramir. Tornado Highlands is miserable. Worst map ever. Not as bad as servant quarters. I'll give you that. It's not as bad as servant quarters. Servant quarters is without a doubt my least favorite map in DD1. I think a lot of people would say the same thing. You're the only person that runs it anymore. Everybody else, the second they got a usable piece of gear, they're like, to hell with the Highlands. I'm never going back. The second something usable dropped. Oops. We'll just do this. I need to get it. I forgot to put a gas trap in here. Or I should have started off with this lane. Alright. Yeah, that's right. Trying to remember the build. I usually don't gas or buff that lane right there. And then that's kind of the lane I stare at mindlessly and spray down. I don't really need the reflex in here, but we can use them, so might as well. Get rid of the striking, go back to a speedy. All we know about quality of loot is that the highest quality loot will drop from the keep. They've confirmed that much, but that's about it. I don't think Ultimate Gear is going to be here yet. I think we'll get Supreme and Ultimate Gear at some point, but it's not going to be in Episode 1. I mean, it might be, but I would be surprised. I think they'll save that for, like, the final episodes. Like, maybe, like, 2 episodes from the end. Give us, Supreme Gear. This particular update, there's so many mechanical base changes to the game. I can't see them adding in a new, rarity. I mean, there will be higher quality godly stuff, no doubt. Maybe even level 100 requirement godly stuff. Who knows? But I don't think there's going to be another rarity yet. They've just got so much, you know, so much that they added in. So many changes. But a big part of this update is going to be structural for the other updates as well, you know. And then remember too, when the other updates come, the consoles are already going to be out. So then it's not going to be a split workforce. So we're like, right now they got half the team working on consoles and half the team working on the update. Level 200 gear? That's a bit of a stretch there, Aramir. Guy, could you imagine? You see how much XP it takes to go from 99 to 100. Could you imagine what it takes to go from 199 to 200? Oof. Man, it'd be brutal. Be like, did the numbers even go that high? Oh yeah, the patch notes for this versus the Rift mode update is going to be considerable. And you can only level on Tornado Highlands? No, Aramir, no. Negative. What is the fastest map to do right now? Besides Deeper Well. Like, what's the fastest survival map to do? I'm assuming Glitterhelm is going to be the place to go for day one XP farming to get your new characters leveled up. Royal Gardens. Yeah, Royal Gardens is not going to compare, I don't think, to Glitterhelm XP. It might. Depends on how much faster it is. Spires might be a good choice. That one's pretty quick. You can get that one down to 10 minutes relatively easily. Is it just two of us? It's just the two of us. We don't need to bother with the ups, I don't think. Everybody left us. Yeah, Foundries and Forges will be the one. But the thing is you're going to want... well, I mean, like, I personally am going to want a Warden and a Rogue prior to me making it to Foundries and Forges. Well, you don't know that now. It might have lane schedules like Alk Labs and end up running miserable and taking forever. If you don't mind waiting until you're already doing Foundries. Oh, Diego, you missed it, man. I did that map like 5 times at the beginning of the stream. You're late, Diego. You're late. Maybe not 5. I did it at least 4 times. 3 or 4 times, right? It's right at the beginning. I mean, I'll be doing it more, just not today. I'm actually probably... I'm gonna stream later on Twitch, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna play yet. I'm probably gonna play Evil Genius 2, because it's fun and there's a lot to learn, and I like that. I like having to figure things out. Trying to avoid Dizzy's wall of text spoilers. I look at some of them, Dizzy, but I don't read it all. I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to be honest. The third level... Are you talking about the loot, Nostalgic? Replenish your defense units. Well, defense units are your defenses built. If you need more defense units, then you need to sell a defense. The Encore map is Foundries and Forges, and they've already confirmed that it will not follow suit with the rest of the game. You don't give me tips. I mean, you give me the walls of text in Discord, but on stream you sit there and wait until I'm done and say, oh, well, you had time to fix that. That's not giving me tips. That's trolling. There's a difference, Dizzy. There's a difference. Oh, but anyway, yeah, Foundries and Forges is going to be the bonus map, or the Encore map, and they've already confirmed that it's not going to be the highest difficulty map in Act 4, so it will not have the highest quality gear. And they've also confirmed that the Keep will have the highest quality gear in the game. Where, like, right now, the Encore maps, all 3 have higher tier than anything else in their act. That will be stopped in Act 4. Yeah, it's free. They said all of the episode content will all be free DLC, and then they'll when the episode's released, they'll have a cosmetic package that you can buy if you want to support them financially. So yeah, DDA, you buy the game, you get the content. cosmetics are the only thing you're going to have to pay for. I mean, as far as they've said right now, you know, they originally said the first one would be free, but now they're saying all the episodes will be free. Will Foundries give better gear than glitter? I'm sure it will. I mean, everything in Act 4 should be better than Act 3. Foundries and Forges is your favorite map there, Christian? How can you deny the Aquanos? How on earth can you deny the Aquanos? Good lord. I liked Aquanos, Misty Mire. I really enjoyed King's Game until I did it 6 million times, trying to get the dice. Well, just the whole theme, the bigger build. I mean, Foundries and Forges is fun. I'm not saying it's not. You know I'm going to grind the living shit out of it. You were very young. A lot of people were. That's a childhood memory for many. You know? I'm older than dirt, so for me, I was not that long ago for me. Aquanos was confusing as first, and that's what made it so good, in my opinion. King's Game 2 with the multi-floors. Servant Quarters Highlands. It's the new mix mode. Half Servant Quarters, half Highlands. Power has a diminishing return from like 10 points, black white. Every stat does. There's no hard cap though. But every stat has a diminishing return. Like the ones like range and rate you notice the most. Range's diminishing returns are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's a good giraffe for this map. Sadly, that's the only semi-decent piece on the map. No Zippy Terror challenge. You know Zippy Terror is going to make it, Dizzy. You know it. All right, y'all. That is going to get it for me for today. Nah, that is completely untrue, Black White. Keep stacking power. Because when you get to 7k power, you're going to be at like 4k rate and like 4k range. And the values that you get from additional rate or range are even less by far than what you're going to get out of the power. So never stop stacking power. Stack it to the roof. It never is not worth it to not put more power, ever. I mean, on things like Ensnare auras, of course it is, because those have hard caps. But as far as a damaging defense, it is never not worth it to stop with power. That was actually the last one, Diego. Like I said, I did Endless Spires so many times on the stream, I'm not going to do it again. But anyway, y'all, that is going to get it for me for right now. I'm going to take a short break, and then I'm going to be live over on Twitch. I'm not positive what I'm going to play yet on Twitch. Kevin, I think I missed you. Thank you so much for subscribing. I'm either going to play DDA or I'm going to play... Breath of the Wild. Snazzy says, I'm going to be playing Breath of the Wild soon, but I don't have my capture card in yet. So I can't do Breath of the Wild yet. I'm either going to play DDA or Evil Genius 2. I might get a fresh start going in Evil Genius 2, even though I have mainly fixed my train wreck of a base from last night. I did some creative changes and it has paid massive dividends. But I may start fresh anyway. Subnautica I already finished, Snazzy. I debated on doing a speed run of it, but I'm not good enough to do a speed run of it. Anyway, y'all, that's going to get it for me. If you enjoyed the stream, support my channel and click the like button. If you didn't like the stream, support my channel and hit the thumbs down button. Element TD, I played a little Element TD. I didn't play all the way through it. I played more of the mod back in the day than the new games. But anyway, y'all, thanks an absolute ton. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. For those that care to, make sure you swing by and join me over on Twitch later. But it is time for a sandwich. So I will talk to y'all later. See ya!